Yeah, Box Ranch Granny here today. Oh, Lord, I tell you, I was outside. That wind is really blowing. So I brought everything in so I could show you this. I thought this was such a neat idea. You look at this. I planted some little spinach right here in these little pots. And you see there's just actually a water jug. I just think that is so neat. So here's what I got that you get water in. I peel off the handle just like that. And I peel off the paper on the outside. And you see you have a clear water jug. And I'm not even going to need the lid either. Pop it over there. Go about halfway, punch me a hole, and then I take my handy dandy scissors, stick them in that hole. Oh, I can't even see that hole. It's clear. There we go. Just go around and around. Now, these are the same size, and you want that to set in there, and you want it to set good. If you just set it like that, see, it kind of sets on top, doesn't really set good. So, I take my scissors, and I clip just about maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch each corner. And then, that sets. There we go. I push that in there so it sets well. And it sets pretty close to the bottom. You can see that. That is so neat. Then what I do is I take little chunks of wood and I just arrange them in the bottom. Now this is a pretty good piece because I don't want it to fall through. And this is twine. This twine is just from burlap. If you use any natural twine, it'll absorb water. So I take me some twine, just loop it over that little piece of wood there. You can use a rock if you got rocks. Just so happens Granny's got an awful lot of little pieces of wood. And then I tuck that right into that hole, and I'll show you this. So you can see that sets right there, and right there you see the twine, how it's sitting in there. That twine will absorb water, so your plant doesn't have to sit in water. See, that's a great idea. I don't care who you are, that's a great idea. Then I take these other pieces of wood, and I'll show that. I just kind of set them in. And see, I kind of coat the bottom. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. And what that's going to do is keep the soil from falling through too much. Then I take me a little bit of potting soil. Oh, Granny almost forgot. You got to grab some seeds out of the refrigerator. Put my potting soil in there. Now I like to use a nice organic soil. And you see there's my soil. Now I'm going to let's hold that so you can see it. And take some water, and I'm just going to gently pour it around it to wet that soil. And you can see it's dripping through to the bottom with a little of the soil, but that's not going to hurt anything. Now then, just level up that soil in there. I'll take some cilantro. Ooh, there's nothing like cilantro to dress things up. And you know, cilantro doesn't like it real hot, Neither does my spinach. So what I've done is I've set these on the east side of my house. And that way, once the sun gets more to the west and it's hotter, those little plants are protected. So we just drop. I'm going to drop 5 little seeds in there, and then I'll push them in. Then I'm just going to take a little bit more soil and sprinkle it right on top, just a little. Now, if it rains a lot, like we've had here, rain and wind, I don't even know how to handle it. If it rains a lot, then you can just separate this and pour some of the water out so your plants don't get too drenched. But the great thing about it is that cord fills up and keeps it watered from the bottom. Check it every once in a while, but I haven't even had to add water this year. Of course, it has rained a lot. Now, that is one idea. I think that's a great idea. Now, a second thing I did, and I'm going to show you this. These are getting ready to go in the garden. These are little tomato plants. And if you look, they're in their own little burlap sack. So I'll just dig me a hole and stick those right into my garden. Those are just about at the right size. Now how I do that is, once again, this one you don't have to put a bunch of wood in the bottom. I just tie my twine onto my stick and set it there. Set it sideways in between the burlap sack so it pulls the moisture up to that stick and keeps all of that wet. And this has done phenomenally. And you remember a few episodes back, we made little bags for soap. These little bags. Well, this is what I've been putting my soil in. I wet that down real good. Then I fill it with soil. Put me a little seed in it. And set it in here. And you can see how well that has done. And I'll just lift these out and stick them right in the garden. And because it's burlap, it's biodegradable. So it'll go away. I think it's one of the great ideas. And especially, if you pick up stuff that has burlap in it. I always buy those little fiber cones to plant my plants in ahead. Generally, by the time they're ready to go to the garden, my little bot is falling apart. And I'm trying to hold it together, dig a hole, get it in there. Forget that. This burlap, great idea. Granny, despite being windblown, she still knows what to do. So remember, this is Gearbox Ranch Granny. Pray to your Savior, Jesus Christ, and God bless every one of you. I'll see you next week.